All right, guys. Hello. How do you guys do? All right. Yeah. Welcome on the next episode of CHATROOM. Like I said, this is an avenue where we have discussions, film discussions. We discuss everything film. We talk about film. We learn film. We just explore wherever we and share our experiences on how we make our film project. I want to share something very, very vital to us. Being a filmmaker, one of the things I did, trying to be a filmmaker, or when I knew I wanted to be a filmmaker, one of the things I was called to, one of the things they called my attention to was, have you read 5C's of Cinematography? I'm like, oh, what's that? Okay. So I went on and I studied it, and then I discovered that it went on to help me and shape me in the way I tell my stories. I know when they say 5C's of cinematography, you might actually be thinking that it's for the camera department. After I'm not a camera person, why would I want to know what 5C's of cinematography is? Why would I want to read it? Why would I want to study it? You see, if you are a filmmaker, somebody who wants to really practice film, I want to advise that you go through that process. Go and study 5C's of cinematography, and maybe you have me to thank later, because understanding 5C's of cinematography will help your filmmaking process, right? Yeah, like I said, you don't have to learn this because you are a cinematographer. You don't have to be a cinematographer to know it, right? But then it's also very, very important that every filmmaker should know and understand 5C's of cinematography. And then when we talk about 5C's of cinematography, what are we trying to say? What do we mean? 5C's of cinematography are those 5 important C's, 5 important elements that help shape how you make your film, help you make your film effectively. For instance, you have camera angles, which is one of the C's. Camera angles. You have continuity. You have cutting. You have close-ups, and then you have composition. Right now, as a filmmaker, most importantly, you capture your images with your camera. Right. Most cinematographers should also put this into context, because it's mostly important for you, because you are always the person behind the camera. Right, but then, like I said, you don't have to be it doesn't have to be just cinematographers who will learn this. Everybody who is a filmmaker will learn, because even as a director, you deal with camera angles. As an actor, you deal with continuity. As an editor, you deal with continuity. As a costumier, you deal with continuity. As an editor, which is a post-production, you have to look at your cutting processes, and then if the images are not properly captured, then your cutting might have a problem. So we are looking at close-ups too, very, very important. Composition, very important. So we're going to have a little discussion on all of these things. Like I said, I'm not here to teach. I'm here for us to just throw up our minds, and then probably I like to also know what you think about the 5C's of cinematography, and then how you have been able to use it effectively in telling stories. Now, talking about camera angles, of course you know that camera angles is one of the vital part of making a film. For instance, you are shooting with a camera, and then you don't just place your cameras anywhere. You don't just place it anyhow. Your camera angles must motivate the story you are telling, right? So most times you see films that are looking anyhow, somehow, what we call non-cinematic. You see films that are looking like they are videography, video coverage, so to say. That's because they don't understand the importance of camera angle. Most of the beautiful films that you have seen, if you look at their angles, if you look at them, you see that oh wow, this film is so beautiful. This is amazing. That's because the camera person or the director or whatever understood the essence of camera angles in using the camera, and then using the camera angles to tell a proper story. So if you are a filmmaker, you must learn your camera angles. You must learn how to place your angles, low angles, high angles. All of these things tell a story. So you must understand how your angles are placed, or how your cameras are placed, in order to capture the right image that will convey the right message, right? Oh, now let's go to continuity. Talking about continuity as part of the 5C's of cinematography, right? As a visual storyteller, you want to tell a story that flows from one point to the other, that does not have a disjointed flow, right? So you must have to understand that for you to have that chronological movement from one point to the other, there must be a flow, and that flow, you need to understand that if there's no continuity in it, it will distort the mind of the viewers. For instance, I've seen a couple of times in situations where these errors are made, and then we think that the audience wouldn't know, and then they see these things because it distorts or disturbs their thinking process while watching this film. For instance, you see somebody moving from one position to the other, maybe moving from the room upstairs to the living room downstairs, and then while upstairs she has a black hair, and then while she's coming downstairs we see her with a black hair. That's the continuity error. It can also happen with costume too. It can also happen with anything basically. So we must pay serious attention. We must pay serious attention to details. Pay serious attention to the fact that for a film to flow in your head, that we make sure that we don't have these errors, these continuity errors, because when these continuity errors keeps occurring, it keeps distorting the flow in your head, right? So the next is cutting. This cutting is basically for post-production, right? Now, if you capture your images, the way you capture your images determines how it will be cut, right? Now, if your images are just captured anyhow, coming to the edit, you would just, the flow will not just be there. That's why when you see some films and you're like, you don't even understand, but that's because the cutting had a problem. Maybe you could not cut from one frame to the next frame. You need to understand, like I said, from your camera angles. If you understand your camera angles, you know how you want to place your angles so that you'll be able to cut from one frame to the other, right, without having any distortion, right? So we're going to, and then the next is close-up. Close-ups are very, very important for cinematography, for visual storytelling. Why? Because it is the close-up you use to capture the right images. Every other shot, wide shot will show you the beauty of the environment, medium shot will show you the people you are talking to, but close-up shows you the details, the expression. So it's very, very important. Most times a lot of people don't understand the very much importance of these close-ups and how to use these close-ups. See, you might know that close-up is also very, very important to use, but then you need to also know how to use them, when to use them, right? But whatever it is, whatever the case may be, close-ups are very, very important in picking details in terms of when you are filming. So let's go to composition. Composition is very, very important for every filmmaker to learn. Now, this composition, what it means is how you place your frame, how you place your camera to capture your images. What do you have in that frame? What do you want to capture? What do you want to see? What do you not want to see? Right? So you see that the careful placement of your camera, will help you, manage your space. It may help you capture what you need to capture without interference. Are you with me? So we see that if you have an in-depth knowledge and understanding of 5C's of cinematography, it will go a long way in helping you as a filmmaker, right? It will go a long way in helping you as a filmmaker. It gives you that knowledge of, okay, composition, camera angles, continuity, cutting, close-ups, okay, fine. It gives you that sense of, I know what I am doing. Do Do you get? So the knowledge of 5C's of cinematography is very, very important. Now I know these things are looking like one big deal. No, trust me, filmmaking is something that we do differently. We have 10 directors to direct a film. They all direct it differently, right? So how you use these things matter. Now I am not saying that composition must be in a certain way, yes, but then for you to have a beautiful image, your composition has to be properly done, right? So but then everybody have what motivates them. Every story have will not be composed the same way. The way I'll compose my CU for a film A might be different from the way I'll use CUs for film B, right? The way I'll use my camera angles, of course, will definitely differ depending on the story we are telling. Now, all of these things, all of these 5C's of cinematography we are talking about is, are used, in telling a story. At the end of everything, if you don't have any story to tell, that means, I don't even know what we are doing with the knowledge in the first place. But then, it helps you tell your story perfectly. So, like I said, being a discussion class, I really like us to, like you guys to tell me how you have been doing this. Prior to this time, when you didn't have the knowledge, were you doing this and how were you doing it? How were you composing your shot? How do you think a proper composition should be? What are the things that you should be looking out for when you are composing your shot? What are those things you look out for? What are the things? How do you compose your shot? What are your style? So we'd like to know all of these things and then we'll have a proper discussion, because I want to learn how you do your own. Because me, if I tell you how I do mine, you might be very surprised. But I know that filmmaking is a personal thing. Everybody has something in their mind they want to say. So, that thing you have in your mind is different from what I have in my mind. So we approach it differently. So, but then very, very importantly, we need to go back, have a study of 5C's of cinematography. Let's have a discussion of the importance of 5C's of cinematography in filmmaking. Guys, I'm going to see you guys next episode when we have more to talk about, right? Thank you very much. I'd like you to go back to the comment section and state how you have been using 5C's of cinematographies. Tell us how you compose your shots. Tell us some of the things you look out for when you are composing your shot. Tell us some of the things you do to make sure you don't have continuity issues. Tell us how you are able to put your shots in such a way that when it's being cut, it flows. Tell us how you use your close-up. Tell us how you compose your close-ups. Tell us the style. Tell us. Let's know your style, because it's about this. Then composition. Let's know how you compose your shot. The way I compose my shot is different from the way another person could compose his or her shot. So for me, I like the rule of third a lot. Some people like to centralize their shots. Depending on what you want to achieve. It depends on what you want to. I'm a lover of high angles. I don't know about you. There are so many angles that that tells you as a filmmaker. So you need to have a trademark. You need to know. Let's just know how you do your stuff. And all of that. So please, for all of your comments, please, I need you to push it down on the comment section, because that's where we're going to be looking at all these things and having a proper discussion on that. Please go back and make sure you study 5C's of cinematography.